that emotion. All we're seeing in this physical world of ours is a reflection of what's happening in the brain. If you think about what the brain does, the brain keeps you alive, and the other thing that it does better than anything else is to make sure that your outside world, the physical world, is an absolute mirror image of your internal world. So one of the great examples I love to use, imagine if you're sitting in a movie theater and you're watching a movie. And on the screen, you're not enjoying what you're watching. So imagine getting up and going up to the screen and tearing up the screen or spray painting the screen, hoping that the movie's going to stop. Well, that doesn't make any sense, because what we're seeing on the screen is nothing more than a reflection of what's being projected from the DVD up in the projector room or the reel. And so if you don't like what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, change the reel.
Yeah,
right? So our brain is making sure that 100% of our experience in life matches up our physical world with our internal world. And as soon as you can get the picture to match in here, that's when you start to see it in the physical world. That's when you start to attract the people. That's when you start to read the books, find the CDs, the DVDs, the mentors, the teachers. But more importantly, that's when you start to behave differently. Because your behavior is all based on how the implicit memory system works, not the explicit memory system. And it's a little bit deeper in that, but our implicit memory system is our subconscious mind. It's where our memories and habits are.
Gotcha.
And so we want to make sure that, when we visualize, that we are doing the repetition with emotion, and that is what creates the neural networks in the brain. Once the neural networks are created, that's your movie, and then the movie has to be played out in the physical world. That's why athletes close their eyes and they visualize and they feel going through their motions over and over and over again. That's why NASA used the exact same visualization techniques to have their astronauts go through every sequence, every movement, every motion with their eyes closed, so that they would be able to perform any of the sequences in pitch dark blackness. And one of the things that the reason for that is it's not the eyes that see. I'm going to repeat that. It's not your eyes that see. It's your brain that sees. Right? And so eyes just let light in. Right? And your brain deciphers what that information is. So if you closed your eyes and you created a sequence for the car that you're driving, the home that you want to live in, the body that you want to have, the money you want to give to charities, you can create that image in your mind, that movie in your mind. And the clearer it is in your mind, you could take the behaviors without having the ability to see.
So that's very congruent with what my experience is with visualization, and I would love to be able to say that I knew lots about it and it was carefully planned and worked out, and I created a system. It wasn't the case at all. I started off with a vision board, and I thought this is cool, having some pictures, right? And I thought, but I need to make this cool to really invest my emotions into it and really build me up and get me excited about it.
See, I'm almost 50. You're how old?
32.
See, that's the advantage of technology today. The young ones take our best ideas and guess what they do? Make it better. And I hate that he did that, but that's why we're together now.
And so, yes, I made a movie about what I wanted my life to look like. And what blew me away was the speed with which my life had turned around. I was in a job that I hated, getting up early, and I'm talking like pre-dawn, going to this job, working in the factory, packing boxes, hating it, coming home, but I made this movie that I wanted to be financially free. And I went from a position where I was over $70,000 in debt, and that's just not. I also had a mortgage as well. That's just the bad debt, like credit cards and personal loans and all that kind of nightmare. And I went to this situation where within 3 months I was completely financially free, which is exactly what I made my movie about. And within 6 months I'd started my lifestyle of living an endless summer. 6 months in Sydney, 6 months in America, and all that turned around so incredibly quickly. And without knowing why, I mean, and with all the information and testimonials we receive from our clients at Mind Movies, I know there's something powerful in Mind Movies. And I've shared with you, and I've shared something what we're going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks, actually, with you just the other day. We'll talk about that in a minute. But can you explain why Mind Movies is such a powerful tool in visualization?
Absolutely. Think about, the way we interact with our universe. If it is a highly interactive, self-aware universe, which it is, then it's responding to us all the time. The one thing that we know about the universe is it loves speed. Everything in nature works by absolute law and works in the fastest way possible. Nature does what she does maximally efficiently, on time, every time, no exceptions. Period. So if we know that nature works in an orderly fashion, and nature's first law is order, and nature responds to our clarity of mind or our dissipation of focus, when we have a great image, a visual of what we want to achieve, that is the collaboration between us and the universal intelligence. I've always asked myself, is it me who has the thought, or is it the universe that's impregnating me with that thought as it's impregnating many, many other people with that same idea, same image? And I actually think it's the latter. I think that the universe is using us as the co-creator on this physical plane called, our little beautiful blue planet or solar system. And so the reason I believe that the mind movies work and is because of the clarity, is by deciding specifically, precisely, and exactly what it is you want. Not what it is you think you can have, what it is you kind of sort of want, but no, that's it. That's the car, that's the lover, that's the money, that's the trip, that's the charity. And when you get that specific, I think the universe responds, and then when you repeat that over and over and over again, there's another part of the brain called the reticular activation system, which is a network of cells in the back of the brain above this thing called the occipital lobe, that is getting information from the universe or from our physical world at the rate of 400 billion bits of information per second. And it deletes or distorts anything that doesn't match up with what you are focusing on that's high on your important list. So if you've got a mind movie that is exactly what it is that you want, and you watch it over and over again, and you feel it, guess what you're giving your brain an instruction to do? Find me more of that. Find me the tools, the resources, the people, everything that I need that matches with that image that I've got on my mind movie. Your brain gets a perfect picture of it, and a couple things happen. Number one, you start to vibrate. Every cell of your body starts to vibrate in resonance with that image, that movie. You start to think more about it. You start to ask different questions than you asked before. Once you really get emotionally associated with it, you say, well, how could I have that car? How could I make more money? How could I release the weight that I don't want anymore? How could I find the lover of my dreams and the soulmate of my dreams? How could I really contribute to the charities that I want to contribute to? You start to think differently, but more importantly than that even, is your perception starts to change, because your brain now starts to look for things that match in the physical world with the image that you're now impressing upon it day in and day out, week in and week out. See, if you just have a mind movie that you watch for once or twice or three times, that's like, not worth it. Don't even do it. But if you really get involved and watch it every day, for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you really associate with that, and you will figure out how, because you're a genius. Every human being, every one of you, every single one of you is a genius and has genius capabilities, right? So what we want to really understand is there's a sequence of how you do it, and that's really the fun part. And I love the fact you guys created some mind movies. I'm telling you, I wish I would have created them myself. And now I get to experience what you guys have created. And
something that I felt, and it rang true to me when you were explaining your formula at the beginning: visualization, emotion, repetition. Visualization movie, obviously right there. The emotion. What I really found different, there was the leap for me that went from when I was watching a vision board to going to a mind movie, is the music being attached to it. Because the music really drives in the emotion for me. It really energizes me and lifts me up to it. It was visualization.
So the thing about what you just said, it energizes me.
Yes.
Emotion.
Yeah.
Emotion. You get that feeling, right? Emotion is feeling.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're 100% right. And remember what I said earlier is the associations between the feeling, the emotion, and the vision. You're creating a very strong neural network in the brain. And that's
anytime I hear any little note, sound that matches that, instantly I'm in a happy state and thinking about the mind movie. John, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us. I have to say it's one of the most enjoyable videos I've ever made. It's not every day you get to speak with probably arguably the authority on visualization, and so I just want to very much appreciate you. Thank you for your time. So guys, what's going to happen in the remainder of the video series, we're going to actually show you the brand new next generation Mind Movies 2.0. You're going to actually get to experience, see how easy it is.
I love it. It is so easy. I just love it.
So we'll see you in the next video. Take care.